Good morning, soul rebels. I hold you, the universe holds you, and of course, spirit holds you, is you in high esteem. You are the highest of the high because spirit is you. And I welcome you to an opportunity this morning to take a break from being human and to allow your consciousness to just drop from awareness of this world into let's live on the other side. The secret of the spiritual, of the training and the path of the spiritual is that we learn to live, as Yogananda said, think in grand terms, eternity, infinity. So I call it live on the other side. What's going on the other side right now? I would think that there is much bliss, there's much joy, there's a giant meditation going on all the time. So everyone is totally just fixed on the one transcendental Lord, right? On that, it's tears because of everyone's different states of consciousness. But boy, that's the place to hang out. All right. So I invite you all to just close your eyes, but lift the gaze to the point between the eyebrows so that you have a window, you have a focal point of that divine light that is just waiting for you to accept that it's there and then to focus on it with all of your devotion. It's just that simple. It's a spirit world. All is light. It's a spirit world. Everyone, everything is love. It's a spirit world, deep peace. And it's a spirit world. I bow my head. I bow to the sacred one. 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 Love really rocks totally. It moves heaven and earth. Oh, love really rocks totally. It moves heaven and earth. Come on, let's feel love, live love, move in love. Come on, let's live love, feel love, move in love. 'Cause we're living a totality of love. Totally. We live in a totality of love. Totally. Love really rocks. Totally. We call this stream this morning the ultimate teaching. That the lover, divine lover, O thou great lover, thou art like, thou art the goal, thou art my desire, that great divine lover. Call it spirit, call it source, call it God, call it Christ, call it Krishna, but it's the supreme, only operating, only highest reality. Call it bliss love or love bliss. That's the highest, that's what operates everything. That is the essence of everything, you and me. And so that God of ours, that supreme spirit of ours, that great lover of ours is and has and always will be our only true friend. The ultimate teaching that God, to put it simply, is, has, is, in the future and in the ever present now, which is the only reality, our only true friend. So why don't you just surrender? Last of the Mohegans has now joined the love force. That's you and me, because we still kind of tinkering in this world of false charms and fake jewelry, and compromises and nuptials. I mean, what are they called? The prenuptial agreement. You're going to have a nuptial agreement with being in love with the great love here, and you're going to kind of make a deal with God on something. No, totally, we're in. So let's jump in, and we're going to be finishing up this verse number 30. Is it number 30? Yeah, it is. It is number 30, where we learned about Prahlada. Remember that devotee who, no matter what kind of criticism he got as a devotee, he was even on the other side. He was on not the other side I'm talking about, but on the other side of the tracks where the bad boys hang out, and the bad girls, and the bad habits, and the evil. And he said, and he was part of that clan, and he said, nope, I'm turned into just the one now. And what an example. He withstood all the criticism, family, friends, everything, and he just God alone. Makes sense. We're here for God alone. It's our only true friend. It's the ultimate teaching. Are you ready to just kind of keep it simple now? Keep it holy. Yogananda said, have only one idea, God. Leave all the rest alone. I am among measurers. I am time. We discussed time. We're going to look at what science says about time a little bit today. We talked. I think we led into the king of the beasts. That usually is represented by the lion, but that does represent that we are king and queen soul. But are we ruling, or is the beast ruling? All right. Yogananda says we're divine animals, so it's a war. And then finally, we're going to learn about Garuda, Lord of the Skies. That means that you're a soul bird, and you don't go, flying off and go, oh, it is so pretty, and come back to your worldly nest where the serpentine predators are hanging out, right? And the bad company's hanging out. No, you just keep going. You just keep going. You become Lord of the Skies as a bird. So, but first, I want to just kind of come back to what we were talking about at the end of last stream, and we were talking about that, that God is not a respecter of history. We're looking at time as, as a complete delusion and man-made thing. And even Yogananda has a beautiful poem, and it said, "Sing that note, born in the cavern of the sky, melt yourself into droplets of joy, and ride on the billows of boundless bliss. Dissolve the waves of mind into the ocean of omniscient light. Shatter the frames of limitations which separate your soul from spirit." The reason why I'm singing this is for these lines. I am what I am always, in the ever-present past, in the ever-present future, in the ever-present now. Sounds like Ananda Moima. She said, I am, and I am always. I am. I've always been one thing. I am. I am spirit. I am one with the divine. Divine is me. I am. Very simple, right? So past and future, we know, wiped out of here. We're only living in the eternal now, loving presence. So we learned about that last week. And then Yogananda says at the in a little commentary about that time is a hoax, that is man-made, and God is not a respecter of history at all. Could care less, because he lives in the ever-present loving present. He is the ever eternal now loving presence. Yogananda comments, says, devotees who realize this, that the dream nature of this cosmos and the dreaming power of God no longer rely on the misleading illusions of nature's measurers and man's and woman's way of looking at things, the conclusions from which make creation seem often harsh and unjust. Yeah, we're nasty, human to human. Not a good. Oh God, you're guilty. You're guilty until proven guilty. I mean, till proven innocent, right? But we say, oh, yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty, but everybody's pointing the finger at everybody else, and everybody thinks everyone is wrong, or they're the right ones and they're wrong. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But here's what those who no longer rely on these kind of misleading illusions of nature's measurers and humans, they look to the eternal consciousness, the soul time, SOLE time. They look to the eternal consciousness. That's what we're saying. It's the spirit world. All is light. All is love. All is peace, deep peace. So we bow to the sacred world. Black Elk even says, as you walk the sacred earth, every footstep becomes a prayer. The sacred world, where you are right now, is sacred. You are is sacred. Everything is sacred. That's why I'm saying, you want to join me and live on the other side? Aren't you striving to have God consciousness while you're able to be completely functional, totally practical, and doing the little things with great love and holding on to that consciousness? Don't you love this reform school? Actually, it's just another higher education that we have to pass to get the PhD and live and get to where we're talking about today, that we love everything, everyone equally, and that the only purpose is our returning home by Christmas. Simple. You all know this drill. They look to the eternal consciousness, the soul time that knows no distress of change. Most people love change, because they think that they're bored with what they're doing. So let's plan a vacation. Let's go to the bar tonight. I'm bored, and all this stuff. No, we want to be changeless in the highest sense of the word, because we are changeless. There's no beginning, no end. We're also the alpha omega, right? And we're also that everlasting love. So they look to the eternal consciousness, the soul time that knows no distress of change, immutable time. And we're going to look at that in the 2 verses coming up. More on time. So we are a divine animal, Yogananda says, and we'll get to that when we look at the king of the beast. And we'll see who's who, what you are. You are either divine or you are an animal. We have totally instinct driven, totally of the body and senses and flesh and all that, versus on the other side with the just divine, formless, infinite, no weight, no maintenance to the body, just perfect happiness and freedom and radiant health, and on and on. Which side do you want to live on? Okay? But listen to what the experts say, the scientists, two that are leading this charge are Stephen Hawking of Cambridge University and Alexander Vilenkin of Tufts University. Only the Tufts go to Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts. They begin talking about what is space, what is this universe, what is it made of, and all that kind of stuff. They begin by proposing, in effect, that space itself continually produces tiny entities that Hawking calls baby universes. As Vilenkin describes it, space as we see it is like an apparently smooth ocean seen from an ocean liner. So imagine you're on an ocean liner and you're just looking out in the vast. The further you look, the more calm it looks, right? Up close, though, however, the surface of the sea is full of waves and foam. Any kind of wind that gets on, there's the wind of the delusion, right? We're going to learn about that. The breeze. We talked about the wind. Remember Marishi and all the wind gods? Similarly, at sufficient magnification, we would see the baby universes forming and dissolving in space like tiny bubbles. Universes, like tiny bubbles. With sufficient magnification, we would see that there's like universes forming and dissolving in space like tiny bubbles, forming what he calls space-time foam. And I'm going to say that since we are made in the same image of God, since we are the ones, you'll see the beast, that we need to be in charge of this created world in this earth. We need to be the masters, the leaders, are we? Right? But we have those bubbles going off inside of us because we're universes upon universes. Right? Oh man, we were so stuck here. It's ridiculous, kids. So stuck, so stuck. We've been so conditioned. We've been so hoaxed. False news. We've been handed false news. So these tiny bubbles forming what he calls space-time foam. The universe comes out of this, he declares. Under this theory of baby universe, I'm just going to give you a little more just so you know what's going on inside of you. You have baby universes going on inside of you, okay? Because they're going on in the outside, and we are a mirror, a complete mirror to what created things are, but we are absolutely one with the truth beyond it. Formless, infinite bliss. No words to describe it. No more having to search anything. We are it. That is that. I am that I am. But sometimes it acts as a seed. So, okay, under this theory, a baby universe usually flashes momentarily into existence and then winks away. Here I am. There I go. And then give it a wink. But sometimes, though, it acts as a seed capable of growing into a full-fledged universe. Oh, you mean that little something in here that is my immortality, that is my universality, that is my cosmic nature, will sometimes go into a full-fledged, I am who I am. I am one with you, oh Lord. All there is you, my one true friend. The ultimate teaching. This can happen because a baby universe can consist of the most unusual form of space called false vacuum. So we have the false vacuum, we have the space-time foam, we have the baby universes we talked about. It has bizarre properties because this false vacuum, because it contains for a very brief instant. I love it. We are a false vacuum, all right? And here's the reason why. Because for a very brief instant, because we contain in a very brief instant a great deal of energy within a very small volume. You have no idea your cosmic energy, but you got to believe in the cosmic energy, and I promise you you're gonna feel better. Oh, a whole lot better. But you got to believe in the cosmic energy. That's the Shakti shower, right? That we, right now, are a great deal of cosmic energy, universes of cosmic energy, we could say, within a very small volume of this little body and this little mind thinking and this little, emotional heart that's still just tied up in emotions and knots. When you strangle, when you can loosen the cords that strangle the heart, it says in the Upanishads. When you can loosen the cords that strangle the heart, you will know reality. When you can loosen the cords that strangle our hearts, all of a sudden you set free all of these cosmic forces within you. When we can untie what is breath, but it's the cord that ties the soul to the body. When we can be still and breathless, there we go. Full-fledged, and from a small volume to a cosmic consciousness. How's that? It balloons from microscopic size to the dimensions of a cantaloupe, that little seed. As it inflates in this fashion, it cools and releases an enormous burst of energy. So as we get a little bit healthier spiritually, when we get a little more, concentration going and just fixated on our one true Lord, our one true reality, then we're going to have an enormous burst of energy. This energy takes form of very hot particles, which are produced in vast quantities. There are enough of them, in fact, to form all the stars and galaxies in the new universe once these particles have the chance to cool. So cool it. The rapid inflation of the false vacuum, followed by this release of energy, constitutes the Big Bang. We're ready for a Big Bang, ain't we, Narayan? Ain't we, Brooke? The newly born universe formed in this fashion, the newborn us, waking up to cosmic consciousness, formed in this fashion, will then settle into a long era of expansion, making grand terms, eternity, infinity. Our own universe has been expanding in this manner for about 15 billion years. So if our universe is hanging around and expanding for 15 billion years, I wonder if that's how many lifetimes. Well, then rocks, plants, animals, and then people, I wonder. So the real question is, what the hell are we doing here now? What's going on now with you right here today? Are you in the past? Come on, let's go. We want to mute our videos, please. I mentioned that last week. We want to mute them. Maybe I'll have to mute them from my end. I hope not. I never want to mute you for anything. Okay, so where was I headed? Oh yeah, let me just finish up this time thing. As the false vacuum inflates, it can readily produce new baby universes that act as seeds for the formation of other universes. Let's say we're universes of awareness of the cosmic energy. We have more universes aware of the divine light. We have more universes of how Divine Mother is doing all her magic here, right? Universes upon universes. We can produce new baby universes as seeds for the formation of other universes. Once the process has begun, it seems like it goes on forever. Yes, hello, think in grand terms, eternity, infinity, continually spinning off new universes as pieces of the false vacuum, right? Our false idea that we still think we have a false idea in our wallets, you know. So other seeds might be sprouting this very minute, anywhere, perhaps within your own living room of the heart. I'm adding of the heart. And according to Hawking, there may be infinite number of alternative universes coexisting with ours. Well, science is getting there, aren't they? They are getting there now. So that kind of covers, man, this eternal consciousness that time is not what we think it is. Nothing is what we think it is. I have a new saying. So think never, love always. Have love, will travel. There's a TV series in my day. Have gun, will travel. So yeah, think never, love always. Best if we can just be in the loving of the one true Lord, that is the one true reality, and it's the infinite love anyway, we're in good shape, right? We're in good shape. I have a reading or two that I kind of put up on in my text messages. So I hope this will kind of make things a little easier to understand. This is one of my blogs called The Ultimate Teaching. That's how I got this idea. But it's kind of along the lines of what we're talking. Close your eyes. Forget this world. Drop it. And be awake to living on the other side, on the transcendental higher self of yours. Go there. Don't waste a moment in between what you think you're doing, that you have an excuse when you're doing that. You're forgetful of God and all that, right? So if we're still forgetting God in all our doing, if doing is still what we're seeking after, then come right back to your loving ASAP. So this is called The Ultimate Teaching. You left your eternal home without your soul ID. and are now lost in a 3D dimension, masquerading as a human with a fake ID. You left your eternal home without your soul ID and are now lost in a 3D dimension, masquerading as a human with a fake ID. The ascended masters had a similar plight, but decided one day to trace their origin back to source. I highly recommend we do that. Absolute access to the absolute. Go direct. You only have the one true Lord and the one true friend. That's it. That's the ultimate teaching. So let's go. Let's get totally 100% single-minded and single-hearted. But these great ascended masters decided to trace their origin back to source. They sat to contemplate life and eventually discovered the wellspring of God presence within them. They sat to contemplate life and eventually discovered the wellspring of God presence within them. They know your predicament, and if you trust them and tune to them, they will lead you from darkness back into the light. Keep them in your heart. Keep these great ones. Keep these mythological, birds and the winds and all these other features of God as alive as if a person was alive, and alive as if an angel is alive, and as alive as God is totally alive, right? Totally awake. You keep our hearts focused on that. Focus your mind on their presence and keep their holy company by your side as you walk on this land of broken dreams. You got to walk with your posse now. You got to walk with the Krishna's love blasters and Christ's light commandos. You do that, don't you? And you have the masters of peace, don't you? You have the peaceful warriors, don't you? The lineage of SRF, for example. You have that, right? You have all this possibilities as universes to hang out today with the truth and nothing but the truth. So help us God. The ascended masters are your best friends. They will teach you the ultimate teaching that God is and always will be your one and only true friend. What I'm saying. And then I had this one. This is a good blog, and like most of them, I completely forgot that I had written it. This is maybe 1912 or 1913 or 14 or something. So this is called Secret Love Affair. Secret Love Affair. You want to listen? You want to listen to the secret? You want to know what the secret love affair is? Going through early, mid, and late life crisis has one sublime purpose. So whatever crisis you're going through, early, mid, late life crisis, that has only one purpose, dears. Or anything else you're going through has only one purpose. To have you run off into a secret love affair with God. That's what a crisis does. That's if we're not so happy or content today, or we're bummed out and this and that, instead of continuing that cycle of maybe many more millions of years of earth life, right? Of earth ignorance or God ignorance and earth life. That we have one sublime purpose, to run off into a secret love affair with God, Divine Mother, let's say. Every time you sit to meditate, it can be like saying, remember that, I wonder, Lord, if we should be meeting like this. Or Divine Mother, you're so beautiful. I wonder if we because I'm desperately falling in love with you. Do you do that before you sit to meditate, or when you're meditating? Is that how you approach the divine, right? I hope so. We shouldn't be meeting like this. I'm falling desperately in love with you. The greatest love affair is with the formless. Quote for the day. The greatest love affair is with the formless, non-physical reality, as you know. It's all around you. It's the air you breathe. It's the infinite blue sky. It's the space between all forms. But now we know there's no space. It's just the eternal now loving presence, right? I am the ever-present past. I am the ever-present future. I am the ever-present now. It's the silence between words and the pause that happens when you feel the awe and the wonder factor. It's the gap between thoughts and the soul's joviality every time someone is talking nonsense. And you go into your soul and you just feel joy bubbling up, right? The bubbling universes of joy. It's the feeling beneath your emotions and the spirit desire behind all your worldly desires. It's the feeling beneath your emotions and the spirit desire behind all your worldly desires. You need to lay claim straight away to your reserved spot in the divine love society of joyful hearts and God-drunk lovers. Right now, in the inner worlds, there is a huge society of people just in ecstasy, loving and being loved. And they're free. They have no body. They have no pain in their body. They have no sickness. They don't have to go to the doctors. They don't have to pay premiums. They don't have to, right? Almost every 2 hours, go find a potty. They're in bliss. That's why let's live on the other side. Let's live on the other side. You need to lay claim straight away to your reserved spot in this divine love society of joyful hearts and God-drunk lovers. You need to meet at open street caverns every night and sip the intoxicating wine of spirit together. Yes, you do. Then with all your soul, make divine love for the rest of the night. You need to drive in a love bus across the desert of material life with other bliss bunnies and bliss buddies. Smiling soul smiles and singing God's name. I'll sing your name. I will drink thine with all your heart. Right? And I'll get all drunk, go with thy name. Imagine being in a soul bus with all your just intoxicated souls that have just completely disregarded this world as real and only knows one thing is real, right? And there's just the constant loving going on. This is the truth, kids. This is what's happening on the other side. If I were you, that's where we have come from and where we're going back to. So it's really important that we really learn what we've come here to learn as fast as possible and to start feeling that we are making some hay while the sun is shining. God's name with all your heart. Smiles and singing God's name with all your heart. You need to fall helplessly apart when you look into each other's eyes, noticing every time that the beloved's divine beauty, entrancingly more beautiful than the time before. Oh, you need to hold everyone in your heart and then love your heart out. This is good. This is good. This is good. Just another one of my hundreds of blogs, right? You need to hold everyone in your heart. And I'm serious about this. And then love your heart out until it breaks into a million ecstasies. Did you catch that? That's why it might pay to hear these things and maybe just get drunk on one phrase like this one. You need to hold everyone in your heart and then love your heart out until it breaks into a million ecstasies. Everyone gets the ecstasy. We're all in ecstasy together across the sea. Ecstasy, ecstasy, you and me. You need to remind each other that your only purpose is to seek the highest consciousness every moment of every day. That's what we do as soul rebels, right? We remind that our highest to have and go for the highest consciousness every moment of every day. You need to throw yourself down on Divine Mother's breast of earth and feed on her unceasing love, compassion, and forgiveness. You need to never leave her one heart and one love. You need to be loyal divine friends until the end. That means no more divorces from anything. Oneness only. Oneness only. That means you definitely are loving the formless. Because as soon as you identify with the form, as soon as someone is a person, as soon as you have some compromise agreement with them, as soon as you're looking at, well, if you're doing that, then I'm going to do this, it's going to be one wasted life. So let's love the earth and feed on Divine Mother's unceasing love, compassion, and forgiveness. You need to never leave her one heart and one love. You need to be loyal, divine friends until the end. You need to believe, trust, and have full throttle faith in yourself and each other. You need to never doubt the truth of who you are and where you have come from. Never, ever doubt or ignore your divine mission to help the holy ones awaken all souls and return home together, lickety split. There's a whole manifesto here. I didn't know. There's a whole manifesto right here. This is a Love Force Revolution manifesto. You need to have soul confidence that you already know God, that you already are self-realized, that you already are free. These sentences are just enough to just meditate on one at a time in each meditation. That all you need to do is improve your knowing. You need Divine Mother's amazing grace, the Guru's compassionate touch, the breath of Christ and Krishna's eternal love, the Heavenly Father's joy and reassurance that you are eternally endowed and loaded with divine inheritance. You're loaded. Finally, you need your own blessings to be completely set free. That's the hardest one, our own blessings. There's a Buddha quote. There is pleasure and there is bliss. Forego the first, the pleasure, to possess the second, the bliss. Live on the other side. Think in grand terms, eternity, infinity. Grooming. Love is the bridge between you and everything. Good. Love is the bridge between you and everything. And finally, another Buddha quote. Those who are awake live in a state of constant amazement. I don't think it's on this side that you can live in a state of constant. I mean, if you are buying into this side, you have to be on the other side, but be here practically and wholeheartedly to do all your dharma, do every little chore with utmost love and giving back as an offering to the divine, and so that you are a free bird, but you are more focused than anybody who's getting $1 billion for focusing on something, right? Yeah. Is what we're talking about there, that we have that ability now to be in constant awe because we don't identify with that false ID that we carry in our wallet. We don't identify with time rushing here and rushing there, since that's an illusion. Everything is an illusion here. It's a false vacuum. But look what they found in the false vacuum: infinite universes of all the divine qualities. They haven't discovered how that is divine yet, but they're working on it. Science. Do you want to look at this proverbial king of beasts? This was another one in this verse 30. Okay, the proverbial king of beasts is the powerful lion. What could that represent besides king and queen soul? The lion king and the lion queen ruling in an open crown chakra. Awake, thousand petals, nectar, drink, drink, and drink. So this proverbial king of beasts is the powerful lion. But here's what it symbolizes, because these are all mythological, almost figures, and they're also symbols, they're symbols. Here symbolizing that omnipotent God is the Lord of all beasts. You have one focus, the one. You can't get caught in any of the beautiful sights along the way or all the terrors on the way. You're going straight into union with the divine, free. And that's what this next one after the beast is all about. Here symbolizing that omnipotent God is the Lord of all beasts, or materially bodied beings. He's our Lord, both animals and man. However, the human being, which alone in the animal kingdom possesses the full potential of divinity, has been commissioned by God to be the supreme ruler over all other forms of matter. We want to take it by like the Crusades, right? We want to. Those are what do they call those when they call it heathens or whatever, right? And we go killing off our own species. Or are you going to manage yourself so that you are free from this world and are totally focused 100% on the divine purpose of your everything? That right here and now, there's not a moment to waste because we could be loving. Love always, think never. Love, just come back to loving. That's it. There's a totality. We live in a totality of love. Come on, why are we still thinking? We're probably, think always, love when someone does something nice to us or something, right? Or our senses get all fired up. And that ain't even love. It's as far from as a moon and the sun, Yogananda says. Sex and true love is as far apart as the sun and the moon. So how is mankind doing with controlling the supreme ruler over all the forms of matter? We've got to look at our own life. We have got to see how we are doing in all this. Is this just you and God? That means you are accountable, as Mother Teresa says, only to God right here, right now, and always. So get straight with the Lord, man. Get straight with your higher nature. Get straight on the straight and narrow. No hesitations anymore. It's just a full throttle. It's a full throttle, right? Like that energy that's building in a very small place, that great energy that just bursts. That's what's happening in you and me and others. So we want to be a part of that tribe as well. Like people like you and me in this world right now, that just tune in with our hearts and love our hearts until it just breaks into a million ecstasies. Now, get everyone in here, everyone, and then love our heart out until it just splits open into a million ecstasies for all hearts. Oh, Garuda. There used to be a woman that came to the Soul of Yoga. Her name was Garuda. She was very much into the Kundalini Yoga, beautiful lady, just the peace and her just her mannerism. Never saw her get excited about anything. Just a beautiful, you just knew that she was living the spiritual life. But what is Garuda here? The lustrous king of birds. We call them soul birds, right? We are soul birds. We're flying out of the cage. Rumi said, hint, the cage door is open. That means the cage to our heart. That door is open. Fly out, little soul bird. First of all, see if you got to get those. You have wings. What? I have wings? You mean I can? No, but I'm comfortable here. I don't trust that. Right? No, he said, hint. The cage door is open. Fly, 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 soul bird. So Garuda, the lustrous king of birds, is the divine mythological vehicle. Here's another divine mythological symbol, vehicle of Vishnu. Famous as an enemy and destroyer of serpents, which represent delusion, as well as that Kundalini, right? Two sides to everything in this 3D HD. The lustrous king of birds, divine mythological vehicle of Vishnu, the preserver of everything beautiful and good and noble and worth carrying around in your consciousness all the time. God, beautiful, high, think in grand terms, eternity, infinity. I come from everlasting love. I go back to everlasting love. I think I have a blog to share with you on that one towards the end here, but we're probably getting there now, right? But how about this mythological vehicle of Vishnu, famed as an enemy and destroyer of serpents of delusion, partially developed devotees, partially developed, like birds. We can fly into a free sky of samadhi every now and then, can't we? With our intuitive imagination, just getting drunk with God, just by remembering what got us high in our meditation that morning, or as we carry that beautiful high vibe with us throughout the day, we come back like a little flask and we keep taking nips. I think that's the best way. You take little nips of God's presence from a high that you got in that sit still, right? Be still. What did I do? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, this is a Jesus calling quote. Since I said sit still, in one of the Jesus calling quotes, this was what Christ said to her. The practice of being still in my presence is almost a lost art. Yet it is this very stillness that enables you to experience my eternal love. What? The practice of being still in my presence is almost a lost art. Friends, not for us. It's a new forever found truth that has always been with us. That's what that sitting still is. There's no companion more companionable than silence, said Emerson. There is no companion more companionable than silence. It is this very stillness that enables you. It is this stillness that enables you to experience my eternal love. Stillness. This universes and universes of power and God light in you. And it's all, see, stuffed in. And we just shut it down. It takes one look out into the Tinseltown world and getting emotionally drawn into it. And a blackout comes. But one moment with our formless lover and our tribe that we, anytime, 24/7, any day, you can go into the inner worlds and just join that meditation. It's a 24/7 meditation, using the delusion of time. In the eternal now time, it's just always going on. You can live on the other side, dears. Get off this little desert of materiality, right? And get onto the other side and live your life there. And then just come into this one high as a kite and doing everything with great love and taking care of every duty in the most beautiful way, because you're not making karma. You're freeing yourself. The freer you get, the happier you are. So partially developed yevities like birds can fly into the free skies of samadhi. Wow, I certainly had a little detour there, didn't I? But must return again to the bodily nest that is vulnerable to serpentine predators. That's where I got that phrase from, right here. Our bodily nest. If you're going to think like a human and behave like a human, then you are vulnerable to serpentine predators, the forces of delusion. But a liberated soul bird soars away from delusion forever and becomes one with God. She becomes one with God. She is compared in this stanza to the lustrous golden-bodied Garuda. Remember, he was a mythological vehicle of Vishnu. A golden-bodied Garuda, the Lord or Regina of the skies, the devourer of delusion. Higher you go, delusion gets devoured. The more you stay steady and constant, in your secret love affair and living in the higher consciousness, living, what I say is living on the other side, right? Everything real is on the other side. Everything that isn't real is on this side. Or are you going to spend most of your time in the unreal or the real? More time you spend with the real, then the more unreal it's like devotees who realize dream nature in this cosmos and the dreaming power of God no longer rely on the misleading illusions. We don't buy into anything here. Close your eyes to this world, but open them into the inner world. Isn't this magical? The magical mystery tour. This is it. So listen, this next one, that's the end of verse 30. Isn't that something? What a verse that was. Can you imagine? We talked about the Prahlada, He was a demon actually, and he turned into this most amazing, beautiful example for how we need to live our life here in this demonic 3D HD nightmare. We talked about among measures time, but we're going to see more about that coming up in depth. Among the animals, the king of the beasts, the lion, and among the birds, I'm Garuda, Lord of the skies. But all of it is just qualities and qualities of your soul, my dear, waking up just by focusing on this right now. Isn't this a nice break from your normal routine to go into this mythological but more real world of higher consciousness and the powers that we already possess as an immortal soul? Wow. But we're really going to have fun starting next week. I think we won't start the next verse 31, but we will give you a teaser right now. Then I'm going to maybe read some more from my blogs, but let's give you the verse. This is page 798, chapter 10, book 2. God talks to Arjuna, and we are looking at verse 31. More aspects of your amazing reality, my dears, of your amazingness, more aspects, more ways to see how amazing everything and everyone is. What did Buddha say? We can live here and be in constant amazement. This is what we're talking about. You know, and you know, if it was up to me now, there would just be one commandment, one moral code, one truth for all the so-called religions, and just take everything, just put it aside. Because without this, what I'm going to tell you right now, nothing can be gained. With this freedom, this happiness, everything we've been talking about and will talk about can come true like that. You want to know what this is? You heard it before, but very few hear it and go, oh, that's cute. But very few will then proceed to be a master of this. Here it is. The secret of happiness is to stop doing the things that make you unhappy. Check it out. It may take us 50 years, 30 years, 30 million lifetimes. But if you want to kind of pick up the pace a little, we've got to plug up all the negative energy leaks, not only of things we do, say, think, desire, the whole package, and all of a sudden you're the happiest camper on the planet. When you're just focused on the God truth, you're one friend and one reality, and this constant love. So I don't even know if I'll just give you this teaser, then I want to read another quote or two, okay, from my streams. Among purifiers, I'm the breeze, so we're going to learn about pranayama. Among wielders of weapons, I am Rama, the weapon of straight spine meditation, and the bow of straight mind meditation, and the weapons of self-control and concentration. We're going to learn about that next week. How about the aquatic creatures? I am Makara, vehicle of the god of the ocean. It's another mythological symbol we have coming up, which is really, it's a mythological creature, aka the shark. When you go into higher states of consciousness, this creature, Makara, comes out and starts devouring all your lesser desires. The shark, mythological shark, Makara. Don't you love it, man? And among the streams, creeks, little rivers, I am Janavi, the Ganges. And that, you know what that represents? The ever-flowing intuitive wisdom. The Ganges, this holy river in India, and all holy water, everything that flows is the ever-flowing intuition of wisdom. When you're free from your mortal desire, when you're free from making yourself sad, when you're free from thinking of this world, when it all just is on the other side. Just join the meditation. You just go there and everyone is just receiving so much ecstasy, love from spirit, and they're all feeling it together, and they're all just drunk with it, and then they just give it back to God with that same everything they have in them, all that bursting energy that's contained in here. The whole being just gives back. But that's it. That's the reality. Giving and receiving. I think what we just talked about is something that happens well, not something, this is, and in eternity like that. In eternity, that's where we're going. Versus the body. Next thing you have to do is probably go do a potty after this, or get something, drink water, or whatever. And it's all body, body, body. Now it's Lord, Lord, Lord. Okay, so isn't that going to be a doozy? This verse 31 next week? I can't wait. Love can't wait. You've heard me say that, right? Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful thing from that beautiful Ananda Moima, Yogananda. They're kind of just cuddled up in the picture in the autobiography yogi. She said, if anyone really thirsts for light, anyone who really thirsts for truth, anyone who really thirsts for true love, it is impossible that God will not grant it to him and her. It is impossible. If you want what we're talking about today, my friends, it is impossible that God will not grant it to you. Now you get your two swords out if you have a doubt about that. Double swords, and be the doubt slayer on that one. If you really want this truth, it is impossible that God will not grant it to you. Wow. Wow. Okay, that was Ananda Moima. This is the Einstein quote that I want to read you. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil. This really goes with, are you beast or king? Soul, right? Are we divine or are we animals still? The world will not be destroyed by those who are just in their animal instincts, but by those who watch them without doing anything. But by those who watch them without doing anything, meaning who's ruling you? Are you letting yourself just fall apart? Are you letting yourself just kind of fade into the, into the gloom, the doom and the gloom? Are you the one still procrastinating? What? Because if we're not on the front line of doing something in conquering ourselves, conquering every sense habit, every thought that is not in tune with the joy, the lightness, right? Then that's what will destroy this world, starting with each of us. But we're talking the opposite. We're talking about the free bird, right? We're talking about, that Rama that is just the meditation that devours concentration, and the devotion just devours all these lesser desires. They're not even hanging around. And Makara, the shark, just okay. So let me just give you a read here. And this will maybe close. This will definitely close our stream this morning. I think there's so much information here, but it wasn't information that is heady. It was information that just keeps getting your heart more and more and more on fire, right? Your soul. My heart's aflame, my soul's on fire, right? Just for you, just for you, just for you. And this will be our closer. This is a daily download of divinity. Sit still. Of a lost art. Sit still. There's no feeling of this love and being a part of that tribe that I'm talking about on the other side of the lovers. You won't want to go there. You don't know. You just won't go there, right? But we have to sit still. I said this was inspired by Sarah Young. But this was the blog. You ready? Close your eyes. Drink of this nectar. Think in grand terms, eternity, infinity. Yogananda. What comes before physical life is everlasting. What comes after physical life is everlasting love. What comes before physical life is everlasting love. What comes after physical life is everlasting love. You are sandwiched in between. As you enter this holy month of December, burst open your intuitive imagination. Burst it open. Like love your heart out with all hearts in it and burst it open into a million ecstasies. Same idea. Especially this holy season of December. Burst open your intuitive imagination. Sit still. Breathe in the everlasting love that loves you before you were born. Breathe out the everlasting love that loves you beyond the grave. Wow. Breathe in the everlasting love that loves you before you are born. And love the everlasting love that loves you beyond. Don't you see the endlessness and grandness of eternity and infinity? Just love what it is. Love the truth that's there. You've come from there and you're going there. If we can, and so if you're so much into past and future, okay, go to the past and love the everlasting love that's there and go into the future. There's not a future about what selfish thing's gonna make things falsely make you happy, right? It's the everlasting love that is the future for you and me. And it's the love, because Divine Mother's helped us to forgive the past. That is the past. So let's get busy. And then in the sandwich in between those, let's see what it says. First, breathe in the everlasting love that loves you now. Breathe out the everlasting love that loves you always. Don't buy into your human predicament. Cash in all your chips of faith for new beginnings with the new purpose of your life. Everlasting life, everlasting love, the new purpose, the everlasting love. This is living on the other side. Forgive yourself, others, and the duping of delusion if you have lost your perspective around eternity. Just do a huge forgiveness ceremony. Shake off the ceaseless need for activity and amusement. Face the angel of death today. She is the most beautiful of all the angels. Be still and know that you are everlasting love. Sit long enough with intuitive imagination, riveted on everlasting love, until you can release the fear of death. Sit long enough with the intuitive imagination, riveted on everlasting love, and sit. Don't move a muscle. You chain yourself into that chair until you can release the fear of death. Today is the only day, and now is the only moment to emblaze your heart. Emblaze it with the love for everlasting love. The love for everlasting love, or emblazon that heart with everlasting love. It's the only practice we have. We go back to the heart and love. Love always, think never. Receive the gift your soul is dying to give you during these silent, joyous, holy weeks ahead. The gift of sitting still, the gift of daily meditation. Oh, this is like Rama we're going to have coming up next week. It's Rama, who's the wielder of weapons. The most powerful weapon is this bow, straight spine bow of meditation, and the self-control and the concentration. The gift of sitting still will be ours if we receive this gift of our soul. It's dying to give you these silent, joyous, holy weeks ahead. The gift of sitting still, the gift of daily meditation, the gift of dying daily to your little self. And this is the quote again. I'm glad I get to repeat it. The practice of being still in my presence is almost a lost art, says Christ to this woman, Sarah Young. Yet it is this very stillness that enables you to experience my eternal love. While the choirs sing and church bells toll during these holy days, light a fire in the cozy cave of your heart home. Bring them all in, all hearts everywhere. Light a fire in the cozy cave of your heart home. Sit still in the glow of holy expectancy for reunion with everlasting love. Man, Turn off your cell phone. Turn on your love light. Think in grand terms, eternity, infinity. Just close your eyes. Please feel the love that's with us. Feel the light that is us. Feel those presences. Feel who's with us as us. Complete stillness of the heart, stillness of the body, stillness of the mind. And there it is, just the eternal, now loving presence. I am that I am always, in the ever-present past, in the ever-present future, in the ever-present now. Oh, Shanti, Shanti. Amen. Happy, holy days. Silence. The most companionable companion is silence.